I'll see you in the land of Mordor. Death awaits you at the border. Pass on through the gates of fun. Destroy the ring of power and wonder.
Middle-earth role-playing fans, welcome back to Lands of Middle-earth. I'm your host, Roman Daisel. Today we're going to be looking at Denizens of the Dark Wood. 8111 of the series. It's a pretty cool picture by Agnes McBride. Gotta love the cover art. Give a lot of details. I especially like this little bug-eyed orc down here, or goblin, whatever you want to call him. And it looks like there's a horde of goblin orc coming out of that tower by the lake. So definitely good artwork by Agnes McBride. This book came out in 1989. I think I bought it in 1990. Probably from Imperial Hobbies. And I did play this with some friends. So let's delve into this. Alright, back down to the table we go. Denizens of the Dark Wood. The cover art by Agnes McBride looks really cool. Gotta love it. It's one of his better ones. You can see a lot of facial details. And it's a pretty awesome forest coming out of that keep. The back cover just has a brief regional map and a description of what you can find and what adventures are going to be there. Going to the inside cover, front cover, there's nothing. Just the table of contents and the credits. Jessica Ney was the editor of the Middle-earth department at this time. Then he goes with guidelines, handling play, obviously adapting the character, adapting this module. Player characters, so you get 12 PCs that you can use in a pinch. I recommend using a few of them. Someone's got to get killed, and it might as well be them. Then you get a regional map. So you get Dale Escaroth, which is Lake Town. Algerstadt, which is the village that you're going to be using mainly. Now this is a 1640 timeline because there are no dwarves in Erebor. And there are dwarves in the Iron Hills, but they're not of Durin's line. And there are no dwarves in the Grey Mountains either. Sauron is pretty much hiding. So the first adventure is an Addercop attack. So Addercop is another word for spider. Bilbo, when he meets the giant spiders of Mirkwood Forest, after they've captured the dwarves, he uses that as a derogatory word to spiders, as Addercop. It drives them nuts for some reason. And it gets them off the dwarves long enough for Bilbo to make a rescue. So, to the east of the Mirkwood village, you have the tiny town of Algerstadt. Pleasant locale, okay. Rolling grace with tall trees and crisscrossed by gurgling streams, sheltered by nearby Mirkwood from the harsh winds and the hot afternoon sun. So it's right on the edge of the forest. And until recently, the evil beast of Mirkwood did not trouble the village, but that was near, but not in the forest. But 6 months ago, denizens of the Darkwood began to raid Algerstadt. Algerstadt, so long self-sufficient, is now looking for help. So there's fear in Algerstadt. They began experiencing problems with marauding wild animals, wolves, which meant that they reinforced the wall around the town and set up guards, which means now they have to bring out the militia. A young farmer disappeared, and now they're getting concerned. And a peddler also disappeared. So a couple of guys decided to track him, the peddler, but they found by following the tracks. But 2 men soon found the wagon, but although they searched the woods, they could not see any other sign. 3 young men went game hunting in the woods. They did not return for supper, and no traces of them have been found. So now all the townsfolk are getting worried. Something's picking them off one by one. So they're going to be looking for adventures. So you have the NPCs, Olger, Restakad, Renewal Restacards, I can't pronounce. Kirill, Wasuntha, Wesson, Freyelson, Sigmar, the spiders. Then you get the giant spiders. So giant spiders are picking off these people slowly but surely. So there are 5 spiders in the web complex west of the paths of Wesson's farm. These 5 were driven from their more western habitat by hunger and population pressures and are trying to make a living closer to the forest edge. So these things have set up camp, and then you go into a nice little depiction of Algerstadt, not much there, and a description of Algerstadt itself. So it's a log palisade and a gate, a 6-foot tall log palisade, completely surrounds this hamlet. Spiders could easily overcome that. Communal pen, open shed, blacksmith, farmers' houses. Not much to this. This is just a farming outlet. The road to Wesson's farm, approaching the spider's lair, and the spider's lair itself. So you got the terrain map here. You go down. So out from Algerstadt, you go through a cut in the forest, which is where the spider's lair is, and this is where these guys got ambushed, to the farm. So the mission is go down the trail and see what you can find. Try and see what's going on, why people are disappearing, and you're going to run into spiders. So which means you're giant spiders of that. Which means you better not have any arachnophobia, or you're in deep trouble. So then it gives a description of the spider's clearing. So there's no trees in it, but they've made webs to make it dark. There's an old rotting log that's hollow that provides easy access to the spider's lair, meaning you don't have to crawl through webs. These are giant spiders, and these are spider webs which are pretty strong. So you're going to have a hard time getting into it. Better to ambush them when they're leaving, or setting a trap like ambush. There's a pool for water. There's a refuse pile where they toss the remains of their meal. So you're going to recognize some material that will, like belt of brass rings, magic emerald. Okay. Beautifully crafted morning star. Some other fun stuff in there. Then there's captives. You see two vaguely human-shaped cocoons are hanging in a webs 15 feet off the ground at this location. And they'll reveal Renal and Kiral. Both are in very poor shape and they can barely walk. So no help. So these guys are hanging around doing nothing, just like in The Hobbit, where you saw the dwarves were hanging. Nothing special there. Starting the players. Obviously, you're going to get as much help from the town, from the villagers as you can. Aids, maybe one or two might help you. Obstacles, finding the spider's lair and then fighting the spiders themselves will be the two. And then rewards, you're only getting 100 gold pieces offered for killing the spiders. But you can keep the garbage. So you'll get some rewards out of that. So the encounters, obviously you're going to meet 5 spiders. Or up to 5 spiders. Something you don't want to meet on a dark and stormy night, when you're not ready for it. So a lot of caution and care is needed. So this is a rescue adventure. Alright, so Adventure 2 is Trouble with Trolls. And it talks about a lost caravan traveling through the eastern Mirkwood, heading to the Men-i-Naugrim, which is the dwarf road that cuts through Mirkwood. And it turns out this one guy, Merchant Olsen from Askaroth, he's worried about his caravan and sends someone out to keep an eye on them, to look for them, to meet them halfway. And it turns out his caravan met a larger caravan that had been attacked by orcs, so he got that problem in the back of his head. And when his scout came back to tell him, turns out that his own smaller caravan was attacked by something, and all 5 men were killed. The wagons ransacked, and the horses are off in the woods. Now his man Rothar found the corpses of 5 men, could find no trace of the other 4, so there's 9. Making a thorough search of the area, he discovered stone, troll, and wagon tracks, but no escapees from his own caravan. So following the trail of the trolls and wagon away from the wreckage, he discovered the troll's lair. So now you got a troll lair. Then Olsen hears the story and decides what to do. So you get your NPCs, the Merchant Olsen. Obviously he wants his stuff back from his wagons. Rothar One Eye is the man. Rothar One Leg is the man who went to meet their caravan and came back with the news. He's being a good guy and wants to rescue everyone. And you got Elisa and Marlak, who are the only 2 prisoners left alive in the trolls' prison. Then you got the trolls themselves. You got Fradurag is the ringleader of the troll band. He's average height for a troll, but uglier than most. Okay, so he's the leader. You got the troll band. Lives with 3 other trolls: Tumag, and Ernik. Tumag and Tunag are twin brothers, so they have the same name. All right. So you got 4 trolls to deal with. Not a good combination. You get a terrain map on the trail of the trolls. They have their little cave here by a stream. And it gives a description of what you can expect on the trail and what to use and how good the mountain slopes are. And then before finally you get to the troll lair, it talks about the path of the cave entrance, the leaf pile alarm, cave entrance, common chamber, hallway, and watch post. There is a watch post. You can see the wagon in number 4 sitting there. Food storage chamber, prison. So you'll find the two people, Lisa and Marlak, who are still prisoners. Trolls don't take very good care of prisoners, and there are minus 60 all activities due to weakness and wounds. So if you rescue them, they're not much use in a fight. General storage, chamber bedroom for Ernik, sleeping area for Tumag, and Fradurag's chamber. So you're going to find things inside these things. So the task, obviously, is to hunt down the trolls and kill them. Starting the players, Merchant Olsen and One Leg Rothar will help out, give you whatever they can. Rothar might actually guide you to the troll's lair. Obstacles, obviously 4 large trolls should be a big enough obstacle. And they're stone trolls. So trying to get them out in the sunlight might help, but it'd be hard to do. And rewards. The trolls have accumulated a considerable hoard because they, trolls are basically more or less immortal, so they do have lots of stuff. You'll gain a mithril bar worth about 730 gold pieces, gem worth 295. So you get lots of treasure for doing the rewards. Encounters, the trolls obviously, nocturnal troll encounters. So if you're outside at night, chances are this is going to be, you get a die roll, see how many are in the cave and how many are outside. So not bad. That's not a bad second adventure. It's a good adventure for starting players and medium players. So level 1 to 4. Good mix and party would work out well with that. Okay, next up we get third adventure, the Tithing Train. And we got Grimbold, a Bjorning warrior from the Misty Mountains. He came across 2 orcs, and he overheard one orc mention the necromancer's tithe. Interested, Grimbold questioned the orcs before he killed them. So it turns out that all evil things must give over a portion of their ill-gotten goods to the necromancer. So Grimbold hatching a plan. So the NPC is Grimbold the Bjorn. And Grimbold is a mercenary. He'll be fair about dividing up the treasure, but he's fond of money and will want his share. So you can either take him with you on this one, or he will finance your little trip. Okay, so the orcs garrisoning the keep, Ilmarian Keep, are a relatively small tribe of the Blogarum who are spread throughout Mirkwood. They're mainly nomadic, but they have 2 main holds, this one and another one further south. It gives a description of what the tribe is like, their primary weapon and their own special weapon. So you get some of the NPCs of the hold, Marlug and Yagrash, who are the typical commanders at this place. You have the terrain, the Ilmarian surroundings. So it's supposed to be a Numenorian noble originally living along the coast of Balfalis, decided to move inland. I highly doubt this. This is Merp really taking poetic license here. But you have the surroundings of the terrain. It's right out on a lake, which is nice. The keep itself, key entrance, great hall, kitchens. So the orcs have taken over since the lordly family died out. And it's not a bad layout. The cellar is first level, second level, 2 roofs. So it's not really a big keep per se. The main barracks, all the commanders' quarters, all the way up to the Uruk barracks. There's 8 Uruks in that room. And then you got a treasure room full of stuff, storeroom. In the second level, you got the upstairs quarters, the gatehouse, pantries, holding rooms. No, I'm not going to go through all the layouts because it just takes too much time. The master bed chamber is in there. The tower roofs, then you go down to the cellars, the secret cellar. So the task is to gather a large enough party, obviously. So Grimbold has come to find adventurers. He needs help in attacking and robbing a garrison of orcs. And so he's looking for applicants. So this is where you want to use those 18 NPCs, those 18 player characters at the beginning of the book, as well as your own party, because you want guys to go in first. You hang out at the back and get what you can. So the aids, wits, experience, its own supplies, and Grimbold. Grimbold will help you. He'll lead you on this little journey. Obstacles. The keep itself is protected by 30 orcs. Once the orcs have been dealt with, the party must cope with the treasure, some of which is protected by traps. You can adjust the numbers and activities of the orcs. The GM can, so that's always nice to do. Rewards. The orcs' treasure can be equally divided among the survivors. And Grimbold, even though he's fair, he will expect to get his fair share. Encounters. Obviously, you're encountering the orcs. Gives a description of how you can expect to encounter them. An encounter table. In the open, the forest, the mountain, and the swamp. So a bunch of beasts and the chance of encountering something. So every 5 miles or 2 hours, you're going to have a 40% chance of encountering something. And then it goes down to the creature list of what you can expect to encounter. You got your beast table. Special herb table, which is pretty good because you're in a forest. There's going to be lots of things that will help heal you or kill you, depending on how you look at it. herbal properties once you use them. Then we get the NPC table for the Adder Cop attack, Trouble with Trolls, and the Tithing Train. The commanders of the fortress are going to be the biggest thing you're going to find in that one. They're level 5 and 7. The trolls are level 15, 10, and 7. The spiders are all going to be level 8s. And then you get your product listing and nothing on the back cover. And there we have it. So that was Denizens of the Darkwood. Now I know when I did my review I didn't talk much about when we played this. But me and my friends, we played all 3 adventures. The Adder Cop attack is a really good starter. Then the Troll lair is good for moving up in ranks. And then finally tackling the Fortress of Ilmarion was pretty good. So we actually had fun with these. And using Grimborn the Bjorning in it made it all the more special. So it was excellent. What do I think of this book? I thought it was a great book. The adventures were pretty straightforward, pretty solid, nothing really out of the ordinary. You know, they're all playable. And it was just a fun time to go through these 3 adventures. And it's in Mirkwood, so you can always add stuff to it. So it didn't disappoint that way. So all you Middle-earth role-playing fans, let me know if you guys had this book. Did you play with it? What do you think? You know, you Lord of the Rings fans, you guys should get into Middle-earth role-playing. If you can find it. It was a great system. I highly recommend the system. The critical stat tables just made you roar. But anyway, all you Lord of the Rings fans, leave comments in the comment section, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Until next time, I'm Roman Dace. I am out of here.
Shadows increasing, beast throughout the land, they seizing evil.